and my wife had kids. We had kids at an early age. We weren't ready. I mean, we were really young.
Right.
And we had a baby, and then we had twins right after that. And then she had 3 kids. Well, I'm saying she because I was working, she was taking care of them, right? And but one thing is like my mom beat us when we were little. I mean,
no way to sugarcoat it.
And I mean, no way to sugarcoat it. My mom used to beat me, and I love my mom. I still love her for that.
Right.
Okay, and I tell this to everybody. Like, I'm not embarrassed. My mom beat me. I mean, she didn't beat my other brother and sister, but I think I was the worst one. So she beat the crap out of me all the time.
You provoked her.
I guess I provoked her, and she was. I mean, because maybe my mom. There's a difference, an age difference, 4-year age difference. I think when my mom had me, I think she was 24 or 23. And, so by the time my brother was born, she was 27.
Right.
And he was baby, and I was just a bad kid. So,
but look at you now.
But I always believed this counting thing, right? Because my mom used to count to us. And it didn't make any difference. And then she beat the shit out of me.
My mom counted, and so I learned from her, but she also kept a wooden spoon in her purse. Yeah. And so you knew if you got to, well, she went to number 5. I only went to 3. But you knew if you kept going, you were going to go to the bathroom with that wooden spoon, no matter where you were.
Same thing. So I'm like, I counted, and my kids always knew the counting thing. And my kids, so when my daughters, they were 14, one day, I don't know what they did. And I'm like, I can't hit them anymore because they're 14 years old, And I was so mad. Okay. So when I got home, I put them both in a corner with, holding their ear. And they're like, and then so turned around, they said something. I'm like, I tell you what, I'm done with this shit.
Right.
I'm like, you want to talk to me? And they talk. I'm like, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to put you both in the corner. And now you can hold your ear, but you're going to squat. And I promise you, that was the worst punishment. So they're like, Dad, we can't do it no more. We can't do it. I'm like, okay, no problem. I get on the floor, do planks.
I love it.
I didn't hit him. But they both were shaking.
They were hurting a lot more.
Oh, they were hurting. And then so I kept rotating the planks with the squat. And my wife was like, I can't believe you're doing that. And I'm like, go in your room. I'm not touching them at all. So
you're making themselves miserable.
Well, you know what? You're helping them. I mean, you're making them stronger.
I'm making them stronger.
You may regret it later.
And I mean, but I think, I mean, as parents, you got to set boundaries.
Absolutely.
You got to tell them that, hey, and taking away things is a big thing. That's what we do in our family. I mean, hey, you know what? You're going to do this. I'm going to take your phone away, take your computer away, take your iPad away. But when a kid is going to be a kid. I don't care if the kid is 10 years old, 12 years old, 3 years old.
Right.
Okay. They don't know any better.
No, that frontal lobe hasn't actually grown and developed. So
the kids will push the boundary as long as you let them push the boundary.
Husbands will push your boundary.
Of course. Please, I don't want to ever.
Maybe that's why I'm divorced.
Don't ever meet my wife. She's going to tell you all about it. So, Susan, tell me, what is your new venture, since you said that you've always been an entrepreneur?
Right. So, we had been in network marketing together in a previous company. And then because that company kept putting us together and it kind of helped us create Find Her Seat with our podcast, it also made us develop our company brand of Find Her Seat. And we're like, you know what? We're going to take this umbrella of Find Her Seat and implement many companies under it. So the first one was our podcast and live show. Now, since we've joined Valentis, but we have joined not as Susan and Jennifer, but we've joined as Find Her Seat. So our team is our company name. And so, definitely we've got, books in the work. We've got shows that we want to do, be on, have our own show. The sky's the limit as far as what we're going to do, but we've branded this umbrella Find Her Seat, and we plan to have many legs coming from under it with many companies going on, because I am not happy unless I'm diversified and I've got my hands in a bunch of different things.
Same.
Yeah. So, it's neither of us are ever satisfied. We're definitely happy with the way things are going and things that are happening, but we're never content.
I
we
see that.
always
I
want
see you-
more.
I see you both are movers and shakers. And, y'all have such, y'all play a busy role. I mean, you have the podcast going, full-time moms because your kids are still, young.
Yes.
Got the Valentes going. How do y'all manage all this?
That's a good question.
Let's go with you first, Susan.
I think
How do
that
you manage it? That's what I want to know.
I think alarms on my phone is a big thing because I always joke, and it's not really a joke, but I would not remember to pick up my kids from school if there was an alarm set on my phone because I get so busy doing something and then the time goes by. So I've got alarms that keep me on point. The other thing is Jennifer and I actually linked our calendars. So we have our personal calendars linked as well as our company calendar linked. But that helps us so that we don't overbook each other. That we know when we're, if she has something to do with her kids, I know that's going on. I don't book something for that time and vice versa. So I think it's the balance and the respect of each other's time. We both, appreciate time with our family and our children. And so we know that sometimes she might be having a tough day or, she's tired or something. And I'm there to pick up the slack for her and vice versa. If I'm going through something, she's there to, pick it up for me and lift me up through it. So I think there's a lot of respect that goes on between the two of us that helps that part of it balance out. A lot of it is just, you know what, you only get one life that we know about to live. And I say, I'm 43 now and I feel like I'm just starting to live my best life. It's just starting to blossom. And so if I want to sit back and watch other people do amazing things, then I can do that, but that's not me. So if it means that I'm going to have to stay up late some nights, wake up early, put in the hours, then I'm going to do it because to me, that's part of, the balance for me is doing a lot of things. I'm not super happy if I'm not doing something.
Not doing something. That's awesome. What about you?
So I have Susan that linked up our calendar. And I drink a lot of wine.
That's always a good one, right?
You know what? It's a great thing to have. But for me, what I had to do is I had to create balance because I've always had multiple things going on. And I let everybody run me over. I never shut my doors. My store was never closed. And so for me, there's a certain time of night that I'm done. And I don't answer phones. And a lot of times I say I went to sleep. And if anybody's listening, I may or may not have been asleep. I was just drinking wine. And that's when I decide I'm done. When I have that glass of wine, I'm like, I'm done working. So and that's how I create balance.
So since you said wine 3 times, what is your go-to wine?
I love a Pinot Noir. And there is this French wine that I get at Total Wine.
What is it called?
I can't remember. I'll have to. I know the picture, and that's what I get. But it's nice.
It got grapes on it, right?
It's got French words on it, and
Right.
It's a white label, and it's one of their direct wines, so it's a really, really great price. I think it's like $11 or $12 a bottle. And
Awesome, my favorite.
yes, if
I
you're a
know.
wino,
Less expensive, the better.
Cheap and good.
well, actually, the more expensive wines have more yeast in them, and I don't do well with a lot of yeast. Just a little lesson on that.
Awesome.
So the cheaper wines are better.
They're better. Yeah. So tell me, for the moms who are listening, give us a tip or so. How to maintain and balance everything.
Yeah, staying
start with
present. Let's stay present. Too often we have our brains going on, all over the place, and I have a busy mind. And so when my girls come in and they want to tell me a story, I literally have to stop and be present. And not think about, okay, let's get through this. Let's just get to this time of the day. Let's get to that. And so I've learned to just literally stay present and breathe and be okay with it. And to say, okay, I'm done. And this is my time with my family. Kind of consolidate,
Kind of balance life.
Yeah, compartmentalize my days.
So is there a work-life balance? Is there such thing called work-life?
No.
It's not really.
And I think also part of it is that you don't need to feel like you're perfect at everything you're doing. Like Jennifer said, the compartmentalizing and the being in the moment. When you're in the moment of that, be really good at what you're doing in that moment. But that doesn't mean that because you're really good at that moment, there's going to be suffering for the other areas of your life. There's no way you can truly, humanly, possibly be amazing at being a mom, at being a partner, at being a podcaster. You can't be perfect and 100% in all of those things. So you need to give yourself some grace and be okay being like a pretty good mom and that your heart is in it, and being a pretty good, co-host or in your business. But when you're doing those things, go 150% into it.
You know, Susan, Jennifer, I got to tell you, I mean, you know, I admire women. I mean, women have a hard job. Okay. And, I mean, you know, talk about everything. And I mean, you know, I hope I don't say something that's stupid, because I do say some stupid shit sometimes.
We do too. Okay.
So, you know, like men have less pressure on them. Men wake up in the morning and they brush their teeth, take a shower, and maybe shave every 2-3 days or something like that. And then, you know, that's done. I mean, a woman takes forever to get out of the house. And if you have kids, the fathers are not getting the kids ready. Guess who's getting the kids ready? It's the moms.
Yep.
Okay. And I mean, we live in a society, we live in this world that we have. And I mean, you know, me also as a man, if my wife listens to it, she'll be like, why don't you follow some of your old advice? But it's true, right? I mean, you know, men, we take it for granted, and we say, well, it's a woman's duty and it's a woman's job. There's a lot of good men out there who do share their duties and split. I mean, so I'm not saying there's not good men out there. Majority of the men just let women do it. So I mean, I admire women, and you know, I admire both of y'all having 2 kids, and you know, it takes time. It takes time to get ready for women. How long does it take for you, Jennifer?
Depends on if I've washed my hair or not.
Yeah, you'd be surprised how quickly we've gotten ready.
Yeah, it could be anywhere from 15 minutes to an hour. I mean,
okay. So really, let's say ballpark, 30 minutes?
Yes.
Yeah.
30, 35 minutes? It doesn't take, well, it takes me an hour to get ready.
Truth be told now.
Truth be told.
That hair, I can tell.
No, the hair takes like 1 minute. But I don't know. I guess I get distracted too quickly.
That could be. That could be. I
the
see my
shower.
husband.
The shower takes 8 to 10 minutes.
Right. You're enjoying your moment there.
Yeah, I am. There's a couple of places I really enjoy my moment. First thing when I go to the restroom in the morning.
Yes. Yes.
I think every man enjoys that.
Uh-huh.
I know a lot of y'all women are like, what takes 30 minutes?
Well, I'm just wondering why it's so often.
You know why is it so often, right? He's just trying to find peace.
I know that's exactly what it is. Of course, my
know.
kids have learned that too. You say, "Hey, go to the dishes," and apparently everybody's got to poop.
Yeah.
But yes, so I admire women. I mean, you know, so they always, you know, do their. I mean, you know, women. Even though we live in we live in a progressive world. It's about to be 2020, but you know, there's a lot of good women who basically make sure their home is done first. Though a lot of people in the other parts of the world will not realize it, will not understand it. Everywhere has a culture, but women, it doesn't matter what part of the world are they from. They take care of their kids. They have this maternal instinct. So, you know, which I really admire. And admire both of you, you know, being moms and, you know, getting your shit done. I mean, you know, this thing, I mean, it's great.
We're making shit happen.
Making shit happen.
And I think it's okay to, you know, say that you need help sometimes.
Yeah.
You know, don't feel like you're having to take on everything all by yourself all the time. Like I said, you know, Jennifer and I, we do the co-hosting together and our company together. And so we're fortunate enough to easily have access to someone who's going to be there for us. But, you know, I'm a single mom and have been for 10 years. And so if I didn't have other moms in the neighborhood, you know, today is an example of that where, you know, I'm not there to get my daughter. So I have a neighbor that's going to pick her up from school. So I don't feel guilty for that because I know that I'm going to help out that mom another day. But I think that far too often that we feel like if we're not doing everything, then we're not doing it right. And it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to bring in, you know, family and neighbors and really network and make sure that you ask for help when you need it.
So go ahead.
One of the things that, because you kind of touched on it a little bit, and something we talk about is that society, we are evolving as a society. So we literally went from women not being able to vote, not being able to have a job. We couldn't buy a car or a house on our own, to shifting. So we were only in the house. That was our only job. And then now that we're shifting, we haven't quite evolved our ideas about society. So women are taking on so much. And I think that some of it is we're trying to prove ourselves. We're trying to over-prove ourselves, where men already got it. You know, it's like the big dog. Big dog doesn't care about the little dog because he's cool. He's like, I already know I'm big. And it's kind of what's happening here. So women are just putting on so much pressure to prove that we are good enough. And that's what the problem is. We just need to know we got it already.
We're here. I mean, I think so. men know their role. I mean,
Yeah.
sometimes we
And
know it
we're-
too much.
And ours is evolving.
Yes,
Yeah.
all the time.
So let's talk about that. So you say men know their role. Do you think us men, I'm gonna say us men because I'm me included, do you think we abuse that sometimes?
I wouldn't call it abuse. Of course, I won't go across the board because there's obviously going to be people who do abuse their quote unquote power. But when my husband and I got married, neither one of us really knew what this was supposed to look like. We both came from, single moms. And so we only went by what we saw on TV, which was probably Leave It to Beaver. And so in the very beginning, my husband was trying that 1950s kind of style of, well, this is woman's work and I do men's work. And I quickly told him this isn't the 1950s and I'm not that girl, but I'll try it for a little while, but it didn't work. And so he has evolved. Now, when I started to get equal with him in pay there for a little while, things started shifting. He started seeing me more as an equal partner and started pitching in more with the house duties. And so I think it's still evolving. You guys are evolving too a little bit,
So,
but it's with our evolution.
You touched something that I think about it, but I never say it. He says when you got equal in pay, things shifted. There's a lot of women, there's a lot of them, okay, that not only take their husbands as partners, they feel like their husband. I don't want to go on that because that can be another podcast. But a lot of time, women, treat their husband like their child. I mean, maybe I can say that.
And,
Yes.
And but there's a lot of them. They get mad at their husband. They insult him and stuff like that. But at the same time, and the husband, also reciprocate.
Right.
Sure. That's all learned.
I
That's
mean,
learned behavior.
I was about
That's
to say,
learned
you're
behavior.
teaching them that.
Yeah.
But do you think it's important for women to earn to the level of the husband?
I think that's a lot of men do think about. My husband, money is a lot of things. If money's okay, we're all okay. If money's not okay, we're not okay. I think, though, if everybody could just look at each other and appreciate what they're doing, it's more of a big appreciation. So I think that because women are evolving, we're looking for atta girls from all over, making money, being mom, being the wife, looking great, doing Pinterest, all this other crap. And so we're looking for more atta girls versus them saying, hey, you're a really great mom and that was enough. So I think it's like we're looking for more.
Yeah, you forgot keeping your house looking perfect.
Yeah, that went out with my second
given
child.
that up. We were talking about that just the other day. We're like, yeah, this is our first kid. The house was spotless. Their toys were put away every night. Laundry was done. Now it's like, they're alive. It's kind of
Look, my house is picked up, and usually by 5 o'clock when my husband gets home, I've got dinner made, and I tell everybody, look busy.
Fake it till you make it.
Fake it till you make it. Tell me if you have entrepreneurial spirit. You said you've been an entrepreneur all your life. Give us some tips for some entrepreneurs who are listening to this show.
I think the biggest thing is to just do it. Jennifer and I talk about that on the show. People have asked us about, doing a podcast, doing what we do. And we say, like Jennifer said, she didn't know what a podcast was.
Are y'all on Instagram?
Oh, yes.
You are?
Yes, at Find Her Seat. And then also Susan.Mobley and Jennifer Etter. So we utilize our social media both through Find Her Seat and through our personal pages. But I think that, and that's part of it also is all the technology and all the social media is that there are so many things that you can do in this day and age that literally are a zero startup. I look back when I did my real estate business and there was startup costs. As doing the furniture business, you have the brick and mortar costs that come with it, the space and all of that. You can start a business today, be it a podcast, be it through Instagram bloggers and social media, network marketing, whatever it might be, for zero to a little tiny startup cost.
Exactly.
But if you don't do it, then you're never going to know. And I say I would rather fail 50 times than to not at least try it. To me, the biggest failure is never trying to do anything.
So your tip is just do it.
Yes, do it scared, but do it. Don't feel like you have to understand everything. If you see our first show versus this, a show that we did today, we've improved, absolutely. But had we been so scared to do that first show, we would never have learned from all of
We
it.
wouldn't
So-
be here on your show.
Exactly. So we've evolved, and we've had opportunities to meet amazing people, be on other shows. And it's all because we didn't know what we were doing. We're flying by the seat of our pants, but we did it.
Yeah, that's one of my thing that I always talk about on Instagram or somewhere, about doing it now.
Right.
If you don't do it now, don't leave it for tomorrow. Just do it now.
Exactly.
Right.
I mean, you can't be scared to fail.
Yeah.
Like I said, to me, the biggest failure someone can give to themselves and even their children and their spouse is to not try to do something. If you fail, you fail. But at least you tried and get up, try something else, fail at something else. But if you keep trying things, you're going to hit something that really you're passionate about. And I think if you're passionate about something, oh my goodness, the success is going to come. I know with Jennifer and I with Find Our Seat, we're so passionate about it, and we love spotlighting these women doing amazing things that don't even realize how amazing they are.
Right.
But it's become such a passion of ours that it's, evolving so quickly because we love it. So I think if you find something that you're passionate about, it's definitely, you won't fail at that. But keep trying until you find that passion.
So I'm going to ask you now, since you talked about Find Our Seat, you interviewed women. Tell me, like, you've interviewed now several, 9-10 months y'all been doing it?
Right.
So at least 40 people you have interviewed now.
Right.
Tell me one that sticks out to you that you say, you know what, this is the number one and number two. Give it to me.
I think for sure with Too Chic Accessories.
That's definitely one of them.
Yes, so they're some local Katy women who actually make these earrings.
Uh-huh.
But they outsource their jewelry to less fortunate women in other countries who have no way to really earn an income.
And what was the name of their?
It's Too Chic Accessories.
Too Chic. TOO.
The number 2
Oh,
and then
number 2.
Chic, CHICS. I mean CHIC Accessories.
What do you think?
Um,
Who would have made like a big impression on you?
they definitely did, because they had no clue that what they were doing was they were empowering other women.
Besides
But
Too Chic.
I'm terrible with names. So the one that wrote the book, that she literally had the song she was singing to her son who was dying.
Oh yes.
Think of her name, I'll tell you her story.
Yes.
So basically she had a son who was dying. He had major reflux, and this song came to her, and she started singing this song to him. She basically sang him back to health. She wrote it in a children's book, and it just exploded. It's going everywhere. It's
Really?
just amazing. And I was touched by a lot of things that she said, but especially that she opened up and received that song.
She's from Houston.
No, she's in Austin.
Yes, in Austin.
Did she drive over here?
No, we
so
did a
just
split screen.
Oh, okay.
So
Yeah,
we've had people in Nicaragua, Arizona, all different places where that are able to split screen them in, so that we're still part of the live experience, but that we are able to have people across the entire world, which I think helps our viewership.
You're gonna have to teach me after the show how to split screen.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Carlos, you listening? Okay. I'm gonna have to get some of your intel on that 8-week course that you had.
Oh
Yeah.
yes, it was great.
Hey, I went from being a non-techie to literally glazing over and just taking really good notes for her. I edit.
So she can do it.
No, I edit
No,
it.
she
you
does.
edit
I
it?
am so proud of
Wow.
her. She
Yeah.
does all the editing of our RSS feed.
Wow.
So I'm proud that I passed
Yeah,
a little bit of my
I always-
techie torch to
I
her.
always say, like, if it weren't for Susan, I'd still be like leaving notes on trees.
All right, Jennifer. Susan shared her tip, for entrepreneurs. Why don't you share some with me?
Okay, so first off, yes, I agree. Do it scared. If it scares you, you definitely need to go in that direction. But another thing is literally just telling yourself that you can and believing in yourself. Too often we get in our own heads and we're like, I'm not good enough. I'm not smart enough. Look, I don't have the education that Susan has, but yet I'm able to do this as well. And so if we get out of your own way and know that whatever you need is available to you, and you are smart enough, you're brave enough and good enough.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love that one too. I love Susan's because I always say it. I think Susan saw it on my Instagram the other day. So
Busted.
so right now you're with the Revolver
Yes. So
network. So congratulations on that again. And goal is to have your own network.
Yes.
Talk about that a little bit. When you say your own network, so you do a network, and then you put a lot of other podcasters around the country, around the world
Yeah.
in that network. Is that what it is?
Yeah, we
Right.
want to be the table.
You want to be the table. So basically, it's like you want to be. Is it like? Let me ask you a question. I'm sorry for being naive. Is it like iHeart, their network?
No. So it's more like a NBC might have, their shows with Seinfeld and Friends and that type
Gotcha.
of thing. So for us, like we joined with Revolver podcast. So Revolver's kind of like the NBC, and then we're one of the shows that's
Gotcha.
under them. So we want to have a network where we're like Revolver, and maybe it's through spotlighting women's podcasts,
Whatever it is. So,
You know.
and then you want to be the table, and then you want to have like people under you.
Exactly.
Gotcha.
their
Well,
seat.
your network marketing business comes in place.
That's
huh?
right.
You want to be on the top,
Yep.
and then you have people underneath.
And have
you.
our team
I
there that
get
we're
you.
going to help them be rock
That's
stars.
right. That's right.
Ladies, I really appreciate you coming on the show. This has
Pleasure.
been great. Okay, I know. I told you I'm going to try to keep it under an hour, and the time has come. But before we go, there's a couple of things I want you to share. Number one, where can people find you on social media, Instagram? Are you on Instagram, Facebook?
Yes, so we
Yes.
are everywhere. If you Google Find Her Seat, you'll find us.
Okay.
But at Instagram, it's Find Her Seat. Facebook is where you can find all of our lives at Find Her Seat, as well as YouTube is Find Her Seat, LinkedIn, Find Her Seat, Twitter, Find Her Seat. And then again, obviously, our podcast is anywhere that you listen to your podcast, be it iHeart, iTunes, Spotify. Like Jennifer said, Google us and we will pop up.
Yeah,
All right, Find Her Seat. So Find Her Seat on everywhere. LinkedIn,
Yes.
Instagram.
Yes.
Okay, perfect.
us.
Yes.
And now, do you have do y'all put everything on there, or do you have personal pages
So
also?
we have personal pages as well. So mine is Susan.Mobley
Okay.
for Instagram, as well as on Facebook.
Mobley.
Mobley.
Okay.
And so on Facebook, I think we're both getting capped out at our friends, but you can absolutely follow us.
Mm-hmm.
Everything that we post on our personal pages is public. So hers is Jennifer Etter. It's like-
Jennifer Brown Etter.
Jennifer Brown Etter.
Yes.
Etter.
Yep.
Was Brown your maiden name?
Yes.
Mhm.
You haven't let go of that yet.
No. Well, I thought, I mean,
Is it hyphenated or not hyphenated?
No. That's only for Facebook.
Only for Facebook. Jennifer Brown
So I
Etter.
can
No
find all
hyphen,
my
no
old
nothing.
friends from elementary school.
Got you. What elementary school did you go to?
I went to Chancellor.
Okay. I went to Smith, and I went to Ollie, and then I
Oh,
went to Hastings.
I went to A-Leaf Middle.
Leaf Middle, right in front of right on High Star.
Yeah, and the big pencil in the
The
front.
big pencil
in the front of
in front.
the yard.
I graduated in 96.
Oh,
See, I-
she's 95.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
Yeah, you graduated in 95?
Yes.
Mhm.
Okay. You graduated in 95?
95. Yeah, we're literally
I should have
5 days
graduated in
apart or
95, I
something.
think, because I was born in 77.
We're born in
Mm,
76.
76.
76.
Mhm.
Okay. So, yeah, well,
See?
1 year older than me.
There you go.
There you go.
Here's your upperclassman right here in front of
Yes.
you.
Respect. Okay.
Respect your elders.
Yes. All right. Last thing. I'm going to ask one by one.
Mhm.
You go first, Jennifer.
Okay.
No cheating, Susan.
Okay.
You picked up on her.
3 things you'll leave for future generation. It can be your kids or to the world.
Okay. So, my children, the legacy of knowing that as a female, they are most powerful.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I try to let them know, you throw like a girl or this, that, and the other. Look, we're the only ones that can literally create a whole nother being in our bodies.
Exactly.
So that, and knowing that you can do anything you want to do, as long as you set your mind to it. Literally, the sky's the limit. And don't let fear get in your way.
Don't let fear get in your way.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. I love it. They're most powerful. They can create their own being, do anything they want to do, and don't let fear get in the way. Awesome.
I think for me that definitely I tend to look at the positive in a lot of situations. Some people on the outside may think that my life has been pretty darn amazing, and there's a lot of parts of it that have, but I've been through many things that not everybody always knows, partially because I try and pick out the positive that's going through something. So even if there's a downtime, I teach my children that, yes, this might be a difficult time, but look at all the amazing things that are coming from this difficult situation.
Mm-hmm.
There's so many times that you can learn from those. So I think definitely not looking at the world in a negative way, but looking at all the positive things that come from even negative moments. I think also, showing that a legacy of my children, that they become productive, amazing human beings and continue to be, good people, not just, it's not just about an income you earn, but the kind of way that you treat everybody around you. So I hope that they go on to be as amazing as they are now as adults as well. And also I think just to show that, leaving behind that you can do anything, that there are no limits. It doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, if you have been disadvantaged, if you've had a rough life, if you've had a privileged life. Don't dwell on everything that you either did or didn't have. That I'm proof that you can take good things and bad things and make something amazing from all those situations.
Awesome. Here you have it, friends. You heard from Jennifer Etter and Susan Mobley. Great having you over here, ladies. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for taking the time.
Yeah, thanks for taking the time from a busy schedule, getting your neighbor to pick up the kid, getting your husband to do the husband duty. Thank you. So this was fun. This was absolutely,
Thank you.
I learned a lot.
We
Thank you so
appreciate
much.
it.